Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we get to look at a new Emboar card. I like Emboar, ladies and gentlemen, by a huge margin. My favourite first partner Pokemon from Gen 5, from Black and White. I mean, by a gigantic margin. Like a huge margin. I'm going to be honest, right? The other ones do not even come close, ladies and gentlemen. Love me some Emboar. And starting off at the basics, there's a lot to like here. It's got 170 HP, which is big even for a stage 2 nowadays. We're generally looking at 160 max. That's what something like Empoleon's got. You're up at 170. The retreat cost of 4 is great because you can use buff padding to put yourself up to 220. And of course, we're getting Pokemaniac, which lets you search for any Pokemon free with a retreat cost of 4, which is sweet. The weakness to water, honestly fine. There's a few Quagsire decks running around, but the best Pokemon to start off with in water decks at the moment is Articuno, and even with weakness they're hitting you for 140 and that won't get a KO, and that is wonderful. And you're a fire Pokemon, which means that you can use Welder to accelerate energy. And then you've got all kinds of stuff like Fire Crystal and Fiery Flint and Giant Furnace to search them out. And of course you'll be playing this with Fire Energy, so you can use Heat Factory Prism Star to get yourself a bit of extra here. Bit of extra cards. Discard a Fire Energy, draw 3 cards. It's great. It's a good time to be a fire Pokemon. Plus you're hitting weakness on grass Pokemon like Celebi and Venusaur, as well as metal Pokemon like Lucario and Melmetal. And yeah, good typing here. Love being a fire Pokemon. And this is a good fire Pokemon. I mean, firstly, the artwork here is stunning. I adore this artwork. But secondly, it is just a good Pokemon outside of the phenomenal stats. Cool. So starting off then, the ability, and I think I've worked this one out using Google Translate, but I will check with the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net and the lovely David from Rappelman TCG before I actually post this video, just in case. And actually, I've just checked the ability with Joe. He's got my back. It says, when you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck. You may attach as many basic energy as you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle the rest of your cards into your deck. Cool. And you'll notice that in the text of the ability there is clearly no fire energy symbol. So this does not need to be fire energy. This is accelerating any energy. And that is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I showed you a video on this channel rather recently about a Gardevoir and Sylveon deck that went and won a tournament in Japan. And this is a good time to point out, and I did put it out over Twitter. I changed the title, changed the description, changed the thumbnail, and pinned a comment. I did what I could. I was initially told that it won a 600-person tournament. I was wrong. It was a 6-person tournament, which is kind of embarrassing, but I'm taking translated information out of Japan. There's going to be the odd mistake. The best I can do is correct it when I find it. Here's the thing, though. That played Morgan, and Morgan looks at the top 12 cards of your deck, finds any energy you find there, and attach to your Pokemon in any way you like. Now, to be fair, Morgan is any energy, and Emboar is basic only, but usually it's the same anyway. Usually you're just using basic energy with stuff like this. And Morgan is your supporter card for the turn, and you have to discard Dana, Evelyn, and Nita from your hand in order to be able to use it. This is 8, but you just evolve up, and you're ready to go. I cannot be the only one that thinks this is really good. And with cards like Alolan Ninetales and Green's Exploration and Red's Challenge, it is easier than ever to get, well, no, that's a lie. It is easier than it's been for a long time to get those stage 2s out. I think if you go back to the days of Claydol and Uxie, we're still probably behind them. But outside of that ridiculous format, this is one of the easier times we've had to actually get stage 2s rolling. So what you can do is do what that Gardevoir deck did, just play a whole bunch of basic energy, and when you evolve up, you get this rolling. And we've seen Pokemon like Charmeleon, which have got similar abilities, but this is not Charmeleon. This is significantly better than Charmeleon, and there's a really good reason why. The Charmeleon from Dragon's Majesty, when you evolve up, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck. If any of them are fire energy, you attach them. But it's only to this Pokemon, you discard the rest and it's only fire energy. This is 8 cards you look at, you don't discard the rest, and it's any energy, fire or not. This is ridiculous. You can basically play a whole bunch of energy and just get rolling here. And with something like a Gardevoir and Sylveon, you can potentially use this ability twice in the same turn. And remember, Gardevoir and Sylveon, if you get 6 energy on there, your opponent shuffles their entire hand into their deck, and yeah, that could win you the game right there and then. There is a lot to love about this ability. This is going to get a whole bunch of things rolling. You could play it with something like Marshadow and Machamp, so that you can get the energy on to actually make it a viable Pokemon. You can play this with Gardevoir and Sylveon to try and get that ridiculous GX attack working early. You can play it in just a quad Emboar deck, because we'll get to the attack in a minute, but it's really quite good. But you can play this in any energy-hungry deck and just go for it. I love this ability, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is a genuinely, really legitimately good ability. Now, as for the attack here, 1 fire, 3 colourless energy, 160 damage. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty gosh darn good. Because you see, 160 will get a 1-hit KO on Dedenne, but Dedenne is our go-to basic Pokemon draw engine at the moment, so that's quite nice. Not to mention that we're going to be getting Great Catcher in the same set, which lets you discard 2 cards from your hand and pick a GX of your opponent's on the bench and bring it into the active. So it's going to be really good against Dedenne. Against other GXs, there's nothing else you're KOing, but you can use Shrine of Punishment to build up a bit of damage over time, and then maybe get the KO. Against non-GXs, you're getting, really even up to stuff like Empoleon and Prism Stars like Lunala. I would use Solgaleo as an example, but it's weak, so you'd only need to do 80, and that's a bit less impressive here. You're getting the vast majority of non-GX Pokemon. Cool. You're not getting an opposing Emboar, unfortunately, but other than that, you're getting pretty much everyone. As for GXs, you're getting them if they're weak. So Celebi and Venusaur, Lucario and Melmetal, Venusaur and Snivy, you're getting all of these, which is cool. But you've got to be hitting for weakness to get your GXs and your tag team GXs. Outside of that, unfortunately, it's not going to work. You're not going to get them. But if the worst case scenario is you're 2-hit KOing tag team GXs and 1-hit KOing non-GXs, that's cool. I'm a little sad that you're just shy of KOing GXs, but there's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. The thing to remember is you got 170 HP, so something like a Pikachu and Zekrom can only 1-hit KO you using their GX attack. That's pretty gosh darn good. Something like a Blacephalon is going to have to Lost Zone 4 energy to get a KO, and here's the kicker. That's 24 energy Lost Zone to take 6 prizes. They're not going to be playing that, ladies and gentlemen. And okay, maybe they can try taking a KO with Naganadel, but the thing is that Naganadel kicks in as a really good attack when you've got 3 prizes remaining. Or, when the player with Naganadel's got 3 prizes remaining. The thing is, even then it only does 160, that won't get the KO. The HP alone is going to give you a really good matchup against something like Zapdos. If Zapdos plays 3 Electro Power, they will get a 1-hit KO. But that's it. They've only got 4 in their deck and they're playing 3 of them to get a 1-hit KO. While you're very, very easily getting a 1-hit KO on them. There are a lot of very widely played Pokemon that are not going to be doing 170 damage in one go. And that really opens it up for you, ladies and gentlemen. That really opens it up for you. As for paying the attack cost, I've already mentioned Welder. We've got our own ability, and we can use triple acceleration energy here, so this is not a difficult thing to pay. Honestly, you can get one energy on here, maybe using the ability, and then attach triple acceleration energy to pay the rest of it. I really like Emboar. I think Emboar's got a lot of potential. The ability is nuts, the HP is huge, and you do a load of damage. I think Emboar could be really good, especially in a format with little gusting. Yeah, I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. I'm giving it 4 Wassies, and I'm putting it on my list of decks I need to test the second they're legal. But I'd like to know how you think about it, so please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.